We're doing a little bit of music beforehand, just to get y'all settled and get us settled. Come. Get over pre-show nerves up here. Oh, that's cool. So it looks like Tom Hollow's gonna teach us how to grow our own gardens. That's awesome. Hey, Sherry, you want to come up and sing a song? Let's get Reverend Sherry up here.
We're a little, we got a small music team today because John is a little under the weather. John and Darlene, we're thinking of you. We're surrounding you with love. This one's for you, Michelle. And yeah, I'll give you an update in a moment, but we're going to sing a little song.
All right, you ready?
My love song to all of you. Such a feeling's coming over me. There is wonder in most everything I see. Not a cloud in the sky, got the sun in my eyes, and I won't be surprised if it's a dream. Everything I want the world to be is now coming true, especially for me. And the reason is clear, it's because you are near. You're the nearest thing to heaven that I've seen. I'm on the top of the world looking down on creation, and the only explanation I can find is the love that I've found ever since you've been around. Your love's put me at the top of the world. For you too, Mom. Something in the wind has learned my name, and it's telling me that things are not the same. In the leaves of the trees, in the touch of the breeze, there's a pleasing sense of happiness for me. There is only one wish on my mind. When this day is through, I hope that I will find that tomorrow will be just the same for you and me. All I need will be mine if you are here. I'm on the top of the world looking down on creation, and the only explanation I can find is the love that I found ever since you've been around. Your love's put me at the top of the world. One more time, sing it. I'm on the top of the world looking down on creation, and the only explanation I can find is the love that I found ever since you've been around. Your love puts me at the top of the world. Oh my goodness. Rick, thank you. I love that song. I love that song. And it felt really appropriate for you today, Barbara. It really did. And Rick has to be the multi-instrumentalist today. Normally we have a bass and a drum, and, you know, he's just got it all, and a guitar. Well, okay. Rick's doing the whole thing. So welcome, Oaks folks.
Yay!
I'm doing the multiple hat thing. Okay. I did it faster than the sound man. Okay, doing the multiple hat thing today because we have a special guest speaker. So I'm really excited to introduce someone today. We have Barbara Bartolome. She says that's how you say it. She's Italian. In the house. Barbara is the founder and director of IANDS, the International Association of Near-Death Studies in Santa Barbara. And she will be sharing not only her personal experiences, but the reason that she is so strongly committed to the exploration of near-death and other studies. So I'm super excited because this has an effect on people's lives and people's beliefs. So it'll be really amazing to hear her stories today. We're so grateful you're here, Barbara. Thank you for joining us. Yes. Oh, from Lisa. Lisa was a connection to Barbara, and we're so thankful, Lisa. Lisa was the one who said, we're bringing her. I said, absolutely. I have a very wonderful update. Our dear Michelle, yesterday we got a text from Leslie that Michelle had a stroke at breakfast. And I ran down to the hospital as soon as I could. They put her in emergency surgery, and it was very successful. And I got to be there right after she woke up. And she had temporary paralysis on one side and wasn't speaking. And then after the surgery, where they just sucked that clot out of there, she's back. And they are moving her down out of ICU at 3 o'clock today. We're so happy and grateful for the answered prayers. Yes. So let's get started. Would we like to introduce ourselves to anyone sitting next to you? Say hello, make a friend. This is our word for the day is friendly. We're going to play our welcome video while we say hello to each other. Welcome video. Welcome video.
Welcome video.
Let's celebrate, let's celebrate, let's celebrate, let's celebrate life. I am the life, I am here, I am faithful. I am the life, I will shout, I am grateful. Not small or insignificant, we're made of love, omnipotent. Our true nature is magnificent, and our potential infinite in the universe. We are the universe. We are the universe. Let's celebrate, let's celebrate, let's celebrate, let's celebrate life. Let's celebrate, let's celebrate, let's celebrate, let's celebrate life. Let's celebrate, let's celebrate, let's celebrate, let's celebrate life.
Welcome, everybody. We're going to have you all stand up and help us sing Spirit is in This Place. One of our favorite songs by Denise.
Love this song. Here we go, everybody. We have come together as a family. Sing out, Louise. We have come here as we are. We have come with arms wide open. We have gathered here in love. We've gathered here in love. Here we go. Spirit is in this. Spirit is in this place. Woo, yeah. I feel it. Spirit is in this. Spirit is in this place. Woo! Spirit is in this. Spirit is in this place. Raise the roof. Raise the roof with shouts of praise. Spirit's in this place. We sing in celebration. We sing with words of prayer. We sing with words of prayer. We affirm all life is sacred. We declare that peace is here. Declare that peace is here. Spirit is in this. Spirit is in this place. Spirit is in this. Spirit is in this place. I feel it from head to toe. Spirit is in this. Spirit is in this place. Raise the roof with shouts of praise. Spirit's in this place. One more time. Spirit is in this place. Spirit is in this. Spirit is in this place. Spirit is in this. Spirit is in this place. Spirit is in this. Spirit is in this place. Raise the roof with shouts of praise. Spirit's in this place.
Well done out there.
You're amazing.
What? You're amazing. What are you talking about?
He's amazing.
You're amazing.
Okay. Okay, take a deep breath. And let's just settle in for a moment of opening prayer. Woo. Beloved presence that is so palpable in this place. Presence of divine love, the one power and the one presence that lives and moves and has its being within each one of us. We come together on this day to affirm that we have willing hearts. We are ready to open, ready to receive, and ready to grow and expand. And ready to remember the truth of our being, the truth of who we are. We are divine love in action. We are made for connection, for compassion, for understanding, and for acceptance. As we gather today, we open ourselves up to new ideas, new perspectives, and new ways of seeing and being. We trust and we affirm that wisdom unfolds in the message and the music when we are willing. May this be a space of grace, a space of curiosity, a space where every heart feels seen and every voice belongs. We surrender this time to something greater, knowing that as we open, something beautiful emerges. We are so grateful for this sacred time together, for our special guest, Barbara, for each beautiful soul present, and for our heavenly container of faith, peace, love, and joy that we call unity of the oaks. And so it is, my friends, and so we let it be. Amen. We're going to sing together. Be still, be still, and know I am. Be still and know. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know. Be still and know I am. Know that I am peace. Be still and know that I am peace. Be still and know. Be still and know that I am peace. Be still and know. Be still and know that I am peace. Be still and know. Be still and know I am love. Be still and know that I am love. Be still and know. Be still and know that I Be still and know. Be still and know that I am love. Be still and know. Be still and know I am. Be still. Be still and know I am.
Yeah, nice.
Morning, everyone. I'm Gail, one of the members of the Unity of the Oaks prayer team, and I'll be available to pray with you after service in a prayer room in the fellowship hall. There's also a prayer request form in the seat pocket in front of you. You may place your prayer requests in the prayer box located on the table in the back of the room. Every prayer request is held sacred and confidential by our prayer team for 30 days. And we know that with God, all things are possible. Now let's prepare for our time of meditation with the reading from the daily word. The word of the day is friendly. April 19th, 2026. I greet others with a friendly and open heart. The Bible contains many stories that encourage hospitality towards strangers. For instance, Jesus welcomed everyone to his ministry, from the hungry and the sick to strangers and social outcasts. He loved unconditionally. That same loving energy is within me. When I greet others with a friendly smile, I am not only sharing one of the greatest lessons of Jesus, I am expanding my worldview and giving myself the chance to learn and grow. If I feel hesitant meeting new people, I remember how it felt to be welcomed by friendly people when I was new to a school, job, church, or town. I was grateful for those people who extended themselves in friendship to me. These memories inspire me to be friendly now. And from Matthew 25:35, for I was hungry and you gave me food. I was thirsty and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger and you welcomed me.
Thank you, Gail. So this is our wonderful time in the stillness. I invite you to get comfy. See as you can relax and as easily as you can in your chair or wherever you're watching. And just maybe rest your hands in your lap, gently close your eyes. We're going to go on an inner journey. Allow yourself to settle in. Feel very supported. Perhaps let your shoulders soften. And let's take a slow cleansing breath in together, a deep breath. Ready? And gently release. We're going to do that one more time. Breath in. And release anything you no longer would like to hold on to. You can put it on the shelf and pick it up again. But for this moment, you're going to arrive fully into the presence. And you're going to continue breathing in peace, calm, and ease. And breathing out any unwanted tension or heaviness. Continue breathing in your natural rhythm. And gently bring your focus of awareness to the center of your chest, your heart center. And for a moment, simply notice the rise and fall of your breath, nothing more. This is a perfect way to get centered anytime. And see if you can notice the subtle sensations within you. Your heartbeat, the blood coursing through your veins. Now imagine a soft light glowing in your heart space. It can be a flicker, it can be a flame, but it is steady, it is warm, and it is welcoming. And as you continue to breathe, allow this light to grow a little brighter and now expand out. This light is your capacity to love, to connect, to welcome. And in this space, you are always safe. So just rest here for a moment, breathing into the heart, allowing it to gently open like a flower, responding to the morning sun. As this light continues to expand, gently say to yourself, my heart is open. I am willing to welcome others with kindness and compassion. Feel the truth of that. Feel into your quiet willingness and allow the gentle opening. Whatever it is you need to be open to and welcoming in, now is your chance to have an intention of willingness. Now let the light extend beyond you like a warm field of presence around you. And using your imagination, picture someone standing before you. It could be someone you know, someone you love easily. And see them bathed in this soft light. And notice how easily and naturally your heart welcomes them. No effort. Now allow your awareness to expand even further and bring to mind someone that you may not know quite so well. And let them stand in this same light. It may be even someone that you have some challenge with. Put them in the light and affirm quietly to yourself, there is space in my heart for understanding. I welcome connection even when it is new. I welcome connection even when I don't understand. Feel the heart stretching gently, expanding even more. And if it feels comfortable, allow the idea of welcoming not just people, but new perspectives, new ideas, new possibilities. Imagine your heart as a doorway, a door that is always open. And softly affirm, I am open to new ideas that serve my growth. I release the need to be right, and I embrace the joy of discovery. I trust that openness brings wisdom. And feel the freedom in that, the lightness of not needing to hold tightly. the freedom of allowing life to flow in and through you. When and if any resistance arises, simply notice it without judgment and offer it kindness, remembering that it's okay to take my time. My heart opens in perfect timing, and I am safe to expand. We recognize that openness does not mean losing oneself. It means becoming more fully who you are, a being of love, capable of deep connection, curiosity, evolving, and aliveness. And affirm to yourself, I welcome others with grace. I welcome new ideas with curiosity. My open heart is a gift to the world. And take a deep breath in. Gently release and begin to feel yourself coming back into your body, to your seat, maybe wiggling your fingers and toes. Bringing your awareness back to the loving souls next to you into this sacred room, carrying this sense of openness with you, a quiet, steady willingness to grow and to connect and to welcome. Welcome the new. You may open your eyes when you are ready. I love you, and so it is. Amen. Just when the caterpillar thought the world was over, just when it all seemed dim, nothing left to do but discover, even as day from night, darkness turns into light and became a butterfly. If they can do it, so can I. Just like the lily bud pushes through the mud to flower, a chick pushed out the nest finds it's just a test to empower a hidden strength inside. When we let go and glide, we discover wings to fly. If nature can do it, so can I. Won't try to run and hide, I'll be the changing tide in every season of the heart. I'll find a quiet place, sink into love's embrace, and let the transformation start.
Just like the sleet and rain pound the window pane in December, when all the clouds appear, there's no need to fear. Just remember, the winter birds will sing another song of spring, and a rainbow lights the sky. If nature can do it, so can I.
The seasons come and go, just as we live changing tide in every season of the heart.
Just when we've set the stage, life turns a page forever.
And when the angels call, I won't resist at all. Just surrender
Into that quiet place,
filled with amazing grace, to embrace a brand new start. Yes, I can do
yes,
it.
I can do it.
There's nothing to
There's
it.
nothing to
It's
it.
just a new season of the heart. That was for you, Barbara.
It's all you? I think so. Is it time? Oh,
I'm going to introduce her.
oh well then.
You're so cute. I just love that Barbara said, I'm freaked out. You guys are amazing.
Welcome to Unity.
Okay, so let me tell you a little bit about this special guest before she gets up here. Barbara is the founder and director of the International Association of Near-Death Studies in Santa Barbara. And she is a 2-time near-death experiencer herself and considers NDEs as incredible, wonderful gifts to her life. Barbara discovered the Near-Death Experience Research Foundation and IANDS, is that how you say it, organization in 2008, and hopes that recounting her NDEs will gift others with a better understanding of life, death, consciousness, and our individual life purpose. Sounds like someone we need to know. Barbara previously held a U.S. Department of Defense secret clearance, was Santa Barbara's Businesswoman of the Year in 2004, and was honored at the University of California, Santa Barbara for her extensive volunteer work in the community. She founded IANDS Santa Barbara in August 2011, and it has grown into what she told us today, the largest West Coast group. Isn't that amazing? She is strongly committed to IAND's purpose of promoting responsible, multidisciplinary exploration of near-death and similar experiences, their effects on people's lives, and their implications for beliefs about life, death, and human existence. So please join me in welcoming Barbara.
Can I take her home with me? and him too. Hello, everyone. It's so wonderful to be here. I did not expect the absolute beauty of you people and this couple. I am absolutely floored, freaked out, and amazed. I want to come here every day.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to back up a bit, and I'm going to say that I was born in Salem, Oregon, and I grew up there, and my mom ended up, when I was a teenager, I had 5 kids in my family. I was the 4th out of 5, and my mom ended up becoming a police officer. She was a sheriff with the sheriff's department. And so what ended up happening was that when I was a young little critter, I would have all these insights all the time that used to freak her out. And I had to learn to stop showing what I knew was going to happen. They were premonitions of what was going to happen, and it would freak her out. And so one of them was I was standing on a street corner with her and my little sister who was 3, and I was 5 years old. And all of a sudden, I broke her grip and I covered my face. And when I covered my face, she was kind of a no-nonsense kind of lady. She had been married to an airplane pilot in the Korean War who died in Japan when his jet engine flamed out. And so she had lost her first husband to death. And she was kind of a no-nonsense, you do it my way kind of mom. So she looked at me and she said, "What do you think you're doing?" And I said, they're going to crash. And I had my hands over my face. They're going to crash. And she looked down at me, and then all of a sudden from behind us, a car came and ran the red light, hit the car in the intersection and T-boned it and pushed it clear across the intersection. It was this big, loud crash. And my mom, and I was covering my face, and my mom let go of my little sister's hand, got down on her knee, and she shook my shoulders and said, "Don't you ever let anyone know that you can do that." So she was kind of negative on that. And so then when I was about 17, now I didn't know why I had these premonitions, so I had to kind of keep them quiet, and I had to learn to not talk about them. When I was 17, I was a photographer for the newspaper in Salem, Oregon, and they'd taken me in as an intern. I was a senior in high school, had my own darkroom. I totally loved photography. And so I was riding my bike across the bridge from West Salem over to the downtown Salem area where the Statesman Journal newspaper was. And it's a beautiful day. It's probably springtime, and I'm just going across the bridge, and all of a sudden, it feels like there's a hand at the back of my head, and it's pushing my head down, and I don't want to look like a 10-year-old kid riding my bike like this across the bridge, so I'm fighting it, and I'm trying to stay upright, and it was a lot stronger than I was. It got me all the way down over my handlebars, and just as it did, this big box truck came lumbering up from behind, and it had one of those extended mirrors, and the mirror ended up, as my head was down like this, brushing the top of my head. And then the pressure was off, and I realized as the mirror extended with the truck going away from me that if I had been upright, it would have hit me between my shoulder blades. And I realized I just had my life saved, because I probably would have been knocked off my bike and possibly into the tires of the truck. So I pulled my bike over, and I leaned against the railing of the bridge looking out over the Willamette River, and I started to cry. And I said, "Thank you, God. Thank you for saving me. Thank you so much. I'm here for you. I am whatever you want, put in front of me, and I'll do whatever you want me to do. I'm yours." And so I was sitting there crying, and then I had to recover and go to work at the newspaper. And that night, I had a boyfriend, and he's still a friend of mine. And he's married and has a wonderful family otherwise. But the boyfriend and I were very good, close people back then. And we went to dinner that night, and I told him about that event, and he remembers it to this day. So, it wasn't just me having an event, it was me telling somebody else about one of the events that happened in my life. So verified is an important thing for me, because I don't want people to think I'm woo-woo or crazy or making it up or anything like that. So I moved forward in my life. I worked for the Pacific Northwest Bell Telephone for AT&T up in Portland, Oregon. I had been married, and I was married for about 3 years to a boy that I knew in high school but wasn't friends with. But we had a little son together, and he just didn't want to work. He didn't want to support the family. He didn't want to take care of the son while I was at work. So one day I just said, do you really want to be married? I had bought a brand new house, 3-bedroom home. 21 years old, brand new home. He said, "No, I don't really want to be married." And he moved back in with his parents, and so I got full custody of our son. So I'm up in Portland, Oregon, and I'm working for the telephone company, and I get assigned to do a condominium project down at the beach, and I'm supposed to supervise the entire phone system that's going in. So I do all that, and they invite me to the grand opening of the condominium project, and I go down representing the telephone company. And the man who's the construction person who oversaw the whole thing decides that he likes me, and he starts coming up to Portland to date me. After about maybe 4 months or 6 months, he says that he has to go back down to Santa Barbara, that the project is completely done, and if I would like to go down and move down there, we would get married. And wow, that kind of sounds like fun. That sounds, okay, Santa Barbara, okay. So I up and moved to Santa Barbara, 27 years old. And it wasn't long before I started realizing who he was. He had not been acting as himself while he was up in Oregon and only seeing me for little short periods. He would get upset with his work, at people at his work. He was an engineering manager, and he would come home, and if I didn't do everything the way that he told me that I was supposed to do it, then I could get slapped, or I could get kicked, or I could get pushed up against the wall, or I could get who knows what, knocked on the ground sometimes. So my son also was getting abused too. He was a little critter. And so I tried really hard to help him get beyond that anger. I knew it was from, we talked about it, from his dad, had been abusive to his mom. And I tried really hard to help him to change. I asked him to go to a marriage family therapist. He went to like 3 sessions. He stopped. Family church, no, he stopped that after 3 or 4 sessions. I actually ended up writing him like a 9-page letter and saying, I won't live with this kind of abuse. I refuse to live this way. And I moved out, and I was gone for a year in my own apartment with my son. And he lied to me and said that he'd gotten counseling and that he corrected the issue, and he hadn't. So when I believed him and I moved back again, pretty shortly after that, I got pregnant, and I had a little baby in July of 1987, little baby redheaded girl. And she's just a cute little thing, and she's so adorable, Julie. And so my other son's name is Scott. So she was, in August, she was a month old, and he was out on our patio, and he came out and said, I need you to help me with something, and he was yelling my name. And I said, well, what are you doing? You have 3, or I think it was 5 bags of cement, dry cement, on top of 2 2x4s, and he had a big, long 2x4 stuck underneath the bottom of the bags, and he had his shoulder on that. And I said, what are you doing? Oh, I can't help you with that. I just had the baby. And he said, get over here. And he grabbed my arm, pulled me over underneath the 2x4, and then he removed his shoulder, and the 2x4 came down on my shoulder, and it blew out the disc in my back. So my L5S1 were blown. I crumpled to the ground, screamed so loud they heard me in China. I think, yeah. So the first doctor that saw me said that I would never walk again. I was 31. So this girl that I knew, I was working at, I think I was working at that time at Hughes Aircraft, Santa Barbara Research Center, and that's when I had my security clearance. And a friend that I knew said, no, you have to go to a neurosurgeon here in town. I think he can help you. So I took the records that the first doctor had done to the neurosurgeon, and he said, yes, I can help you. We'll do surgery. So he scheduled surgery for December of 1987. My daughter was 5 months old. My son was about 7 or something like that. And I went to the hospital, and the night before, like they told me to, and they wanted to do myelogram. And the myelogram was injecting iodine dye to the back of my neck, where they just numbed the area, and then they injected it into my spine. They had me on an x-ray table. Both the neurosurgeon and orthopedic surgeon were there. When I shut my eyes, I can actually see, like from up above, like when I got out of my body, I can actually see that whole thing. So the nurse was over at a table by the door doing paperwork, and 2 x-ray techs were dealing with the x-ray machine and the monitor that was going to be monitoring the dye going down my spinal cord. They injected the dye in. The x-ray tech leaned over the top of the table and said, you need to absolutely hold completely still during this procedure, because if you move even a little bit, you can have headaches for months afterwards. And I thought, oh, that's all I really need is headaches along with an abusive husband. Okay, so I'm laying there, and they're tipping the table, and the guy's pushing the table, and he starts talking to the other x-ray tech who's got the monitor in front of him. And he's not watching the table. And the 2 doctors are over here against a wall, and they're talking to each other, and they're facing each other, and they're not watching the table. And the nurse has got her back to us over there. And the guy's pushing the wrong button on the table. So, oops, instead of raising my head and lowering my feet, he's lowering my head and raising my feet, so the dye is going right into my brain. So I immediately felt funny, and I thought, I wonder if I'm supposed to feel like this. I've never had one of these before, and I'm laying there on the table. I don't want to interrupt the 2 guys, and I don't want to interrupt the 2 doctors, and I'm laying there on the table, and I felt funnier and weirder, and I was like, okay, am I supposed to feel like this? And by the time that I realized I should say something, I couldn't speak and I couldn't reach my hand out to touch him to get the attention of him. So he's standing right there, pushing the button, and he's talking, and he's right next to my head. And then I ended up hyperventilating, and my eyes were rolling to the back of my head. And he heard that finally, and he leaned over the table and looked at my face and saw my eyes rolling back, and then he leaned back, and the last thing I saw was him look at the button on the, where his thumb was on the button on the table, and he went like that, and that's the last thing I saw. Shut my eyes in my body, and the next second I was up on the ceiling right above my body looking straight down. Up there, I immediately said, I felt very calm up there, and it was just fine. And I said, I think that if I'm up here and my body is down there and he's calling code blue, I think I just died. And right when I said that, I felt this presence that was right here on this side of myself up there on the ceiling, and it felt like the most beautiful, eternal, loving, accepting presence. So I assumed, oh, that's God. So I, in my head, said to him, I really need to go back into my life, because if I leave my children in this way at this time, they won't grow up to be the good human beings they're capable of being because of the abuse that they'll receive. I won't be there to protect them. Please, please let me go back. And I said that about 4 times as uproar was happening down below. It was chaos with the doctor screaming out orders, people coming in with an oxygen cart. Another man came in and he had a small box and he set it on a ledge next to the table. And I was kind of talking up there calmly to God. And when he came in with the box, I said to God, I don't understand what he's doing. He's taking these little white things and peeling the backs of them off and putting them on my chest. It was a heart monitor. I didn't know that. And I said, could you please tell me what that is? And instead of telling me anything, he put me down in front of the heart monitor so that my consciousness was right there in front of the box, and it had a big green window at the top of it and a bunch of dials and a toggle switch on the side. And I watched as the man who had brought it over there and put the white things on me, his hand reached across and he did the toggle switch up. And then this little light went in the green long box and it started going in the straight line, and it was going beep. I still didn't know what it was because I didn't watch TV. I'm still not a TV person. So I watched it go across the first time, the second time, and the third time it was a third of the way over. And I went, oh, I think that's supposed to be going like this. That's my, it's not. My heart stopped. So once I thought that, then I was back up on the ceiling again next to the being. And I'm looking down and the whole room is in chaos. And the neurosurgeon says to the orthopedic surgeon, too much time has passed. She's going to be brain dead. We need to do something. And so the orthopedic surgeon says, stand clear. And everybody around the table backs away. And he steps 2 steps forwards, takes his fist from behind his back and slams it down on my chest. That's called a precardial thump. I didn't know it at the time. And nothing happened to me. I stayed in my body. I watched him blow, my chest with his fist. And up on the ceiling, the being spoke to me. And he said, but if you go back, you'll still be in your marriage. What will you do? And showed me these film clips that just went flash, 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 flash. And it was all these different situations where my husband had kicked me, pushed me, hit me, shoved me, all the different things, the abuse stuff that he had been doing. And then I was given time to think about the things that I had done to try to help him change. And I knew I was supposed to think about that. So I thought about the things that I had done and how I'd given him so many chances to change and that he hadn't. And so then I said to the being, if you let me go back, I promise you I'll get strong enough to leave him. And the second I said the word him, the doctor did the second precardial thump, which restarted my heart. And I shut my eyes on the ceiling and I opened my eyes, and 1 second later I was back in my body with the oxygen mask on my face and everyone looking at me, and his fist was still just rising off my chest. And I looked at him, I said, what just happened, into the oxygen mask? And the nurse leaned over me and said, "Stop, don't talk. We need to stabilize you." So 20 minutes later, they finally take the oxygen mask off, and everyone's looking at me. And I said, what just happened? I was up on the ceiling, and I could see and hear everything. And the neurosurgeon goes, "Oh, brother." And I said, "No." She was on the phone calling for the defib unit and saying stat, and that lady brought in the oxygen card. And before that, these two guys were doing CPR on me. And they were switching off chest compressions and blowing in my mouth, but when the oxygen cart came in, then they just switched off chest compressions. I'd been trained in first aid, so I knew what they were doing. And so then I said, and then, this man over here put the heart monitor on me. I watched my own flatline. And so as I'm explaining this, the neurosurgeon clenches his fist, pulls him up next to his body, and goes, "I'm not going to stand here and listen to this." And he went storming out of the room. And everybody else stayed, and they were glued in. And the orthopedic surgeon held my hand, and he said, "Tell me, what did it feel like? Tell me again what you saw." And he's talked to me a number of times over the years. He's still in practice in Santa Barbara. And he's a really nice man. And he told me when I asked him to talk for Gaia TV, he said, "Well, Barbara, if I talk," he said, "I could lose a lot." This was probably 20 years ago. He said, "I could lose a lot of my patients and my colleagues by, admitting that I was with you when that happened, and et cetera." So he said, "I can't do that." But as he gets closer to retirement, I'm thinking I might be able to talk him into doing things with me. But he's a really nice man. So what ended up happening was that I was in the hospital for 4 days. No one would talk to me and tell me anything about that experience. They knew that it was possibly that it was their fault, and so they didn't want a lawsuit, et cetera. And so I understood. When I told my now ex-husband that it had happened, he said, "Oh, that couldn't have happened. You probably hallucinated that." Well, I've never done drugs, never done alcohol, never done anything, because my mom said that she'd shoot my booty off if I did that. Now I wish she had shot my booty off, because it's a little bit too big. But, thank you, Mom, I have a completely clean life. And last year, I worked for the police department in Santa Barbara as the only female volunteer, and I called myself Officer Barbie. I was badged and uniformed, yes. So anyway, I had this wonderful experience when I was 31, got away from him, moved into an apartment with my 2 kids, 1 custody, went through the whole thing. And then I thought, I'm just so scared. I'm never going to date anybody again. I'm never going to date anybody. I don't trust these men. So I went about a year without that, dating, just focusing on the kids and everything. And then I thought, well, if I ever date anybody again, I'm going to make a list of character traits that I want in that person, and I'm going to make sure that they're a good person next time around. So I started putting down patience, kindness, friendship, all the good things, only good things. So I would close that book at night. It was after the kids had gone to bed, and I would say, "God, I don't know who this person is, but I know that you do. And if you could bring him to me in the right way so that I could feel like I could trust being able to check him out and make sure he's this person, and in the right timing for his life and for my life, I would really appreciate it. Thank you, and good night." So one Saturday, my son comes in with a girl from the neighborhood, and he's in 8th grade by then, and she's in 7th grade, and they say that they want to go to a movie. Well, I take them. So after I agree to take them, then they say, "Well, can you come over and pick us up over at her house? She just lives right around the corner." So I said, "Sure." So 15 minutes later, I went over there and I knocked on the front door, and a 7-foot-tall guy opened the door. And I said, "Hello, I'm here to take your daughter and my son to the movie." And he said, "You're taking them?" "Well, they asked me to take them." And I knew exactly what they were doing, but he didn't. He's shy and cute. So I'm like, "Oh, it's okay. Why don't you go ahead and take them? I've got a lot I can do today." And my son came out from around the corner and said, "No, Mom, you have to go too." So they made us sit next to each other, which I was totally embarrassed. And then we went to pizza afterwards, and took the kids, and they were playing the video games, and we picked up his son, who went to pizza with us too. And they're playing video games, and I'm sitting across from him, and I said, "So how long have you lived in Santa Barbara?" And he said, all my life I was born and raised here. And I said, oh, wonderful. And so where do you work? And he said, I work at the university at UC Santa Barbara. And I said, oh, wonderful. And so what caused your divorce? And his face crumpled because he had had a wife from the Netherlands where he played basketball professionally, and she had decided she didn't want to live in the United States anymore, and she walked away from her family and went back to the Netherlands. And so she left her children and Victor, and he was very sad about that, and I could see that in his face, and I literally fell in love with him in that moment. I saw the pain and anguish that he had gone through in his face, and I realized that's just the same as what I had had, just pain and anguish. And so we dated for about 4 months, and we took all the kids with us to the beach and all the parks and everything, and I got to see who he was. And I would check off on my list. I can see he's patient, even with my children. My little 5-year-old who was a little rat. she was a redheaded little rat. She was like out of this control. Cheerleader in high school, little Miss Sassy girl. Okay, so he was very patient with her. And so, checking it all off, and about 4 months into the relationship, he said, there's no reason that you need to pay for an apartment. My house is big enough for all of us to live in. If you'd like to move over with me, we could get married. So 6 months to the day from the day the kids introduced us, we got married and spent 33 years. And he's my man. I had 116 things down on that list by then. He had to match them all. I even put down must be tall because I had a boy in college who wanted to go on a date with me, and all my girlfriends said, oh, he fell in love with you, you've got to go. And during a slow dance, he laid his head on my shoulder. That doesn't go well with a 5'9" girl. So we had all that going on, and then life is happy, and I'm 55 years old then, and I'm up in Oregon with Victor to see my older brother and his wife and his daughter, and we go to dinner together. And I hadn't told my entire family anything about my near-death experience. And my brother outside the restaurant says, Barb, there's something I need to talk to you about. And I'm thinking, okay, what? And he says, well, I always felt I should talk to you about this, but the parents told us not to tell you. And we weren't supposed to ever tell you, but now that they're gone, I think I should tell you that you died when you were 18 months old. And I said, what? And he said, yeah. He said, you had a high fever, you went into convulsions, you stopped breathing, the parents had you, and they called the fire department, which was 911 back then, and they told the parents to put you into tepid bath water in the bathtub and to slowly add ice cubes to slowly lower your body temperature, and the ambulance was on its way. So Mom had you in the bathtub. She sent both of my older brothers over to get the neighbor's ice. When my oldest brother came back, he said he handed the bag of ice to my mom, and I was soft purple. And I was lifeless, and she was holding me and sobbing over the top of me, and she was very pregnant with my little sister, just about to deliver my little sister. And so then he said, as he stood in the doorway and you could hear the ambulance arrive up in front of the house, he said, all of a sudden you self-resuscitated. You arched your back backwards and you took in a deep breath and you went from purple to red. And he said, you started crying, and he said, I was never so happy to see my little bratty redheaded baby sister cry. So I ended up finding out that I'd had a near-death experience or a death experience back when I was 18 months old, and that helped me to understand why I'd had all those premonitions and the things that had happened in my early life, because I never knew why I was different from my family. Never knew. So that was a big gift. I ended up telling him about my second NDE, and he's like an electrician. He's retired now, but totally man's man up in Oregon. He believes in near-death experiences because of baby sister having 2 of them. So it's been an amazing experience. My life has been absolutely incredible. I've seen so many times when God has stepped in situations. And you call it intuition sometimes. It's not from you guys. It's not from your heart. It's not from your soul. It's from the other side. So let me tell you the most wonderful one that blew my husband's mind. About 5 years ago, I was up in San Francisco, and I had done 5 live talks up there. And we were driving back to Santa Barbara, and we were headed down to Gaviota, and he was driving the van, and it was 9:30 at night, and I was in the passenger side, and I was looking out the window at the stars and the moon over the ocean, and just beautiful. And it was pretty gusty wind, and so all of a sudden this big gust of wind hit the side of our van, and I watched as he was struggling with the steering wheel. And I thought, we got to slow down. So after it stopped, I said, Victor, I think we shouldn't do 65 miles an hour. I think we should do 50. And he said, yeah, I think so too. So we're going along at 50, and I'm thinking, okay, now we're safer. We're okay. And all of a sudden, maybe 5 minutes later, this little voice in my ear on the ocean side of my head says, danger, big impact ahead, danger, big impact. And I'm like, okay. So I sit up in my seat, because you know you're not supposed to be laying down when you get into an impact. You're supposed to be upright with that seatbelt across you. So I got it all straightened out, and then I turned to Victor and I said, you know how I sometimes hear from the other side? And he goes, yeah. And I said, well, I just heard danger, big impact ahead, danger, big impact. So we need to slow down further. Instead of 50, let's do 30. And he goes, Barbara, we can't, we're on the freeway. And I turned and looked behind me, looked in front of us. I said, Victor, there are no other cars anywhere in sight. No one's going to care if we're doing 30 miles an hour. If you see somebody coming, go ahead and speed up to whatever you feel comfortable until they pass us. But we need to be able to stop and slow down for whatever it is that's up ahead. I don't know if it's a tree that's gone down or a car that's gone out of control. I don't know what it is, but we need to be able to prepare for that. So he goes, okay, I can do that. So we're going along for at least 10 minutes, 30 miles an hour. Come around this bend in the road, and way up in the distance in the dark, we see a single police car's lights going around. And I knew right there that that was where the danger was. So as we're getting closer and closer to it, we're in the slow lane. We can see that the police officer isn't off the freeway pulling someone over. He's stopped his car in the slow lane, blocking it completely. And no cones out, no nothing. We're coming up behind it, and Victor starts to change lanes into the fast lane to go around it. And someone from the other side, whoever that was, grabbed both of my upper arms. I felt clenched hands on my upper arms. I saw the shimmer of a face in front of me, and I heard this scream, 10 miles an hour. And I was so freaked that I got touched and I saw the shimmer that I immediately reacted and said 10 miles an hour to Victor, kind of loud, 10 miles an hour. So he had just changed lanes, and the cop car was up here and he was back here. So he slowed down from 30 to 10 by the time he got to the police car. And just as we went past it, maybe 30, 40, 50 feet, I don't know my measurements too well, we're past it, and our lights finally lit up. The semi-truck that was laying across both lanes of the highway was on its side, so the dirty bottom of the truck was facing us, no reflectors or anything, and we were headed for the cab of the truck, which is where the gas tanks are. So because we were only doing 10 miles an hour, Victor was able to swerve off into the brush kind of in the left-hand side of the highway, and he went around the front of the truck, and on the far side, I looked up, and the police officer was standing there with his legs braced against the gusting winds, and he was talking to the truck driver who was inside, and he looked up, and he had this face on him like, what? He knew that the California Highway Patrol had closed the freeway behind us. That's why he had not put any little cones out. He just stopped his vehicle there, and he didn't think that there would be any cars coming, any trucks or anything. And so he was pretty shocked to see us come around the front of the truck. And Victor didn't know that I'd just seen that, and he went right onto the freeway, and we started going down the freeway, and I started saying thank you to God. Thank you for the truck driver's life. Thank you for the police officer's life. Thank you for my life, and thank you for Victor's life. And once again, I'm here for you. When you want to take me home, I am ready to go whenever you want me. But if you want me to do things here in the world, I'll do them if you put them in front of me. So that was amazing. About 10 minutes later, Victor says, Barbara, how did you just do that? If I'd not just watched that happen, I never would have believed this story. How did you do that? And I said, Victor, it's not me. I just listen and I understand it's the other side. I said, if everybody opened their door and listened and understood, then you'd get these messages because they'd know you're listening. And I said, it was God. And so he always is kind of blown away by the things that happen to us. That there's lots of other ones too that I won't take time to tell you about, but it's pretty amazing. So what I can tell you is that open your door. Open it every day. Talk to him so frequently and tell him, like when you're driving in the car and nobody's in there with you, just say, oh, isn't that a beautiful tree? That is so gorgeous. You made that. It is so pretty. Oh, wow. Or look at that sunset. That, just as if he's right there sitting next to you, because he is. Open your door. Love him. Love those around you. And enjoy a beautiful life, because we all have amazing lives to enjoy. Thank you. By the way, we 30 foreign exchange students. We so we have 5 kids of our own.
That was amazing. That was amazing. Wow. She's done amazing things.
Oh, yeah. I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way.
You can sing along.
Yeah. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright,
Bright, sunshiny day.
do it again now. It's gonna be a bright,
Bright, sunshiny day.
sing with me. Oh, guess I can make it now.
The pain is gone.
All of the bad feelings have disappeared. Here is the rainbow I've been praying for. It's gonna be a bright,
Bright, sunshiny day.
let's do that again, baby. It's gonna be a bright,
Bright, sunshiny day.
oh yeah. Look all around, there's nothing but blue sky. Look straight ahead, nothing but blue That was a long note. I can see clearly now the rain is gone. Oh yes, oh yeah. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright,
Bright, sunshiny day.
it's gonna be a bright,
Bright, sunshiny day.
oh, it's gonna be a
Bright, sunshiny day.
oh, it's gonna be a bright,
Bright, sunshiny day.
Yeah. That was fun. Oh, Lisa's coming.
Wow. Barbara, thank you so much. Yes, Reverend Sherry and Rick, your music was amazing. Oh.
Thanks, Lisa.
I need to tell you, I had a near-death experience about 40 years ago. And a doctor friend of ours, after I told him about it, said, "Oh, that's ridiculous." And because of that, I remained quiet. Because of this woman who spoke this to us today, I opened up about my near-death experience. That was about 10 years ago when we met in Santa Barbara. And thanks to her, thanks to IANDS, I was able to talk about it and really discover what wealth of information is out there now about NDEs and what we can learn from all of those experiences. So thank you so much. Yes, thank you. Hi. I'm Lisa, your board member of the day. Here's our mission. If you will please read it with me. Unity of the Oaks is a loving, accepting, and heart-centered spiritual community, here to be love in action, to encourage personal growth, awaken spiritual curiosity, and transform lives. If you would like to bless us with a love offering, we have several ways for you to give. In the seat in front of you are envelopes for cash or check. Make sure to include your name if you'd like a record of your donation. You'll also find our text to give information. At any time, you can visit our website to give.
Sorry.
That's all right.
It's money.
If you've given electronically, please bless the basket, then pass it along. Now let's take a moment to focus our attention on our giving heart as we feel the abundance of receiving. We visualize the mission statement coming to life. Now, please join me in the love offering blessing. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I give in love and I trust God.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. Yeah.
We are most grateful for all of your contributions to our community as we grow it with lots of events and classes, which is what Layla is going to tell you about. Layla? Yeah!
Hello, it is another busy week at Unity of the Oaks. Barbara will be leading a Q&A discussion after service. A Course in Miracles, led by Jonathan Baudet, will continue this Wednesday at 6 p.m. And meditation follows at 7 p.m. with Reverend Sherry, Rick, and Jack Lee. All are welcome to join in person or tune into the Facebook live stream. The Artist's Way 2, based on Julia Cameron's The Vein of Gold book, will start on April 30th and go through July 16th, every Thursday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., and drop-ins are welcome. And Karen Drunkard's The Power of Women Retreat is getting closer, so spread the word and don't forget to RSVP. It's Saturday, May 2nd. Scan the QR code and visit the website to register, and there's also a sign-up sheet in the back. And now I'd like to call up Lucia and Liz to talk a little bit about this.
Hey.
Okay, hello, I'm Lucia, and I've been selling, or I'm going to be selling these paintings for fundraising for me to go to Unity Camp over the summer.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah. So.
That's it?
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Liz.
Lucia's mom, Liz, I thought I was going to have to come up here and speak, but she took over the mic. So good for her. The only thing I want to say is there's going to be a correction on the amount. We weren't quite sure of the sizing, and we've been on the website, and this sizing is a little bit more expensive. So in order to obviously cover the print, plus make some profit out of that, it might be a little bit more. But if you're interested, you can put your information in the back and I will contact you. Again, yeah, she wants to go to camp this year. I was like, I'm not sure, Lucia, if we can send you. She's like, well, what if I fundraise? And what if I use my print? So, this was all hers. So we'd appreciate any support. Thank you.
Thank you.
Perfect, thank you. And one last thing is Tom Hollow will be teaching an organic gardening class on Saturday, May 9th from 10 a.m. to 12. So sign up on the website, and there's also a sign-up sheet in the back of the room. And this information can always be found in the email newsletter we send out each week, so make sure that you are signed up. And now, Reverend Sherry.
Woohoo! Best sales pitch ever, you guys. Good one.
I was so comfortable just enjoying the program. I forgot I'm getting up again. So want to thank you, Barbara, for amazing, beautiful story. And it's just so beautiful to hear. Some of us know about the communication from the other side. A lot of people here definitely are. So this is the right audience for you, for sure. And it's just lovely validation. And to hear how it's impacted your life, we're so grateful. Thank you. I want to thank Betsy and Lucy for jumping in when Leslie called them yesterday when she was at the hospital with Michelle. And most of you heard the update. Michelle is doing incredibly well. They are at Las Robles, so please continue to hold them in your thoughts and prayers. And with the magical return of Ann Robin and Art Castillo in the house, we are relaunching the Reiki ministry. We had our prayer chaplain meeting this last week, and we have decided that starting on the first Sunday of every month, we are going to offer a Reiki chaplain to be available as well as a prayer chaplain, so you can have some Reiki healing if you would like to sign up for that on the first Sunday of every month. Isn't that awesome? Yeah, so Anne will come up and talk about that. She is our leader of our Reiki ministry. And I think that's it. Team emails have been sent out, so check your inboxes to make sure you got your team emails. If anybody did not get an egg, there are still a few back there. Team Faith is mine, so of course Team Faith rocks. I see Tony's in Team Faith too. Woo-hoo! So find your team and look in your inbox and get the information so you guys can start your text chains or whatever you want to do. I'm excited for this year. I haven't had faith yet. I know. Rick's got
peace.
Peace. Okay. So now for our peace song and our prayer for protection, fellowship, and discussion Q&A with Barbara. How fun.
Everybody get in a circle. No, we're not dancing the hora. It's okay. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins in me. Yes, there is peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Yes, peace begins with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. Take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. The light of God surrounds us. We are the light. The love of God enfolds us. We are the love. The power of God protects us. We are the power. The presence of God watches over us. We are the presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. All right, have a great day, everybody. All right, everybody, enjoy. Chevy van.